Hello, I'm Alex.
And I'm Mark.
And this is Complicated Things.
In this episode, we'll tell you about one of our most recent fun shoots.
Yeah, and a bunch of the lessons we learned while doing it.
Like the fact that California can be 80 degrees during the day and 28 degrees at 4:30 in the morning when we were getting up. We had 5 full days to shoot beautiful footage of 10 phenomenal cars, plus the travel day there and a travel day home. This was the 3rd time we've done this shoot together, so we had a decent sense of what to expect.
This year, we decided to try some new gear on the shoot. For our cameras, we used 2 Blackmagic Pocket cinema cameras. You know, these were a great choice for us because 1, they shoot in 6K, the footage is beautiful, and they're also relatively inexpensive. And that gave us a huge sense of added security because we spent a lot of time shooting footage out of moving vehicles. So the likelihood of a camera getting just a little banged up was a lot higher than it would be on most of our shoots. We also brought a Ronin RS2 with us, which gave us a greater range of motion while we were shooting, and a follow focus, which allowed one of us to shoot while the other one pulled focus.
We actually brought 2 drones. We were going to bring one, but the night before the shoot, I had a nightmare that I crashed the drone on day 1. So we brought another drone as a spare. Of course, we crashed the drone on day 1.
Yeah, we crashed the drone on day 1.
It's a team, Alex. We're a team.
Sometimes. For data management, we brought 2 Shuttle XL TB3 RAID drives from G-Tech with up to 42 terabytes of usable space. We recorded all of our Blackmagic footage onto 2 terabyte SSDs and 512 gigabyte CFast cards. And then we also had a dedicated laptop that we used just for backing up footage.
We brought a few other odds and ends like some Rotolight Neos, which we could use to pop in a little extra light on the car, loads of assorted grip, and I think 14 metric tons of spare cables. But that's pretty much it for gear. It might not sound like a ton, but it felt like a ton when we were schlepping it through the airport.
Yeah, and the good news is we brought back a solid ton less of cables because I broke a lot of cables.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a good take unless Alex broke a cable.
That's actually true.
Once we got to California, our workflow was pretty much the same every day. Get up around 4:15, 4:30 in the morning, drive to our morning location, drink coffee, and complain about how cold it was.
I think you mean get to the location and then build our camera rigs.
Some people did do that, yes.
Yeah, some of us did. So we'd get to the location ideally a little bit before sunrise each day, which gave us time to set up our cameras and be ready to shoot. But one of the things that's always a bit frustrating about this job is that everyone was arriving in separate vehicles. So that means that it was unlikely the entire crew would arrive and be ready to work at the exact same time. There's really no way around this because we had professional drivers driving supercars to the location. Mark and our producer was showing up in the crew vehicle, and then I was driving the production van. So that meant call time had to be a little bit flexible. You know, that's not ideal on any shoot, and especially a shoot like this, where we're trying to catch the best light. And if we miss the light, we just miss it.
Yeah, to be honest, we had, 20 minutes of perfection, and then if we had some cloud coverage, we could carry on and shoot. But if the sun came straight out, we were kind of done.
That's right.
Considering that the McLaren gets about 1 mile to the gallon, there were some frequent unscheduled stops at gas stations. Gas stations could be 15 miles away, so by the time the car got there and got back, that's half an hour. In the mornings, we shot car to car, which means Alex and I filmed out of one car and had one of the supercars driving behind us or beside us. One of us would wield the unwieldy camera while the other would pull focus. This was really great for us because it meant that the person holding the camera could concentrate on getting the perfect framing without having to worry about focus. And if you know me, I'm an F2 guy, so focusing was no joke when we had some moving vehicles. We both took turns in each of these positions, although I think by the end of the shoot, we realized that Alex was the camera operator while I pulled focus and directed.
Do it less sucky.
You directed?
I did, I directed.
Okay. Our afternoon workflow was pretty similar to our morning workflow, but with a few additions. So we'd shoot car to car, but we would also get most of our drone footage in the afternoons. and shoot our car exteriors and interiors closer to sunset. You know, when you're shooting beautiful shots of cars outside, it's super important that you do it in the best possible light. Obviously, all these cars look amazing all the time, but shooting them at the right time, specifically the golden hour, is really transformative.
So Alex and I took turns flying the drone.
Crashing the drone.
And shooting interiors. And each day we shot a different group of cars. So by the end of the week, we were able to get footage of all 10 cars.
The other major part of our workflow was data management, and that's a big part of the reason we rented the production vehicle in the first place. We used it to transport the majority of our camera equipment, but it also had a generator, and that allowed us to back up footage on location. So in addition to shooting, I was also responsible for periodically backing up the footage to one of the raids.
And that's pretty much it for our general workflow. So now let's talk about some specifics and some lessons we learned on this shoot. First of all,
what?
Wind.
Oh, wind. Obviously, we know shooting outdoors means having to deal with possible bad weather, but the wind presented a real practical challenge for us this time. There was one day we couldn't even shoot car to car because the wind was so severe. It was blowing the shooting vehicle and the talent car just all over the road.
And it wreaked havoc on our drones. A hillside was the final resting place of Drone 1.
R.I.P. Drone 1.
And according to Alex, our second drone got caught by a gust of wind and also ended up in a tree.
Whoa. I never said that wind blew it in the tree. What I said was the tree ran across the field and attacked the drone from behind.
Absolutely. Fortunately, Alex did save the day with his incredible tree climbing skills. I think we have some footage of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And also, when I did poke the drone out of the tree with a limb, somehow our producer managed to catch it before it hit the ground. So that drone went right back up in the air and shot the rest of the week.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Another thing we had to contend with this year was COVID. Normally when we do this project, there's a lot of car sharing, a lot of good restaurant eating, and just general hanging out with the crew, because we like everyone we work with. But this year, we had to scale all of that way back. You know, everyone had to get tested before and after the job. We all wore masks while working, and instead of hiring catering, Mark and I provided snacks for the crew.
Donuts.
It was basically like donuts and yogurt. And you know, I spent my nights backing up footage in my hotel room while eating crackers instead of eating fancy dinners at fancy restaurants.
Yeah, not so many fancy restaurants. This job is also physically taxing.
Yeah, I mean, you need a bit of endurance because no matter how prepared you are or how professional you are,
And we're super professional.
you can tell by the interruptions. You know, things are gonna go wrong, or they're just going to break, or you're gonna be in a bad mood. I'm normally the one in a bad mood.
Like, in the end of the day, the best thing you can do for yourself is to make sure you're working with a great team, be a team player, keep a sense of humor, focus on getting your job done, and you create brilliant footage and great memories.
Yeah, but really, you have to shoot when the light is good. It doesn't matter what you're shooting. If the light is crap, what you're shooting is crap.
Yeah, that too. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mark Mann.
I'm Alex.
And we're Complicated Things.